All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Now, after going 1-3-1 in their previous 5 games, the Pittsburgh Steelers took the field today against the Tennessee Titans as a reeling football team that was very desperate for a win. And with their backs against the playoff wall, if you will, Pittsburgh was able to answer the bell as they gutted one out to get to 19-13 win over the AFC South leading Titans. Now, it looked like the Steelers were going to get pushed off of the cliff today as they trailed Tennessee 13-3 at the half, but they responded outscoring the Titans 16 to nothing in the second half thanks in part to their defense. Now, the Steelers defense sacked Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill 4 times today, with one and a half of those coming from TJ Watt, who in the process set a single season franchise record today with 17 sacks as he broke a tie with Joey Porter. And Pittsburgh also forced a fumble off Tannehill, while also picking him off, and they forced several other fumbles as well. But when you talk about this Pittsburgh defense today, take your pick. I mean, Joe Hayden, Minka Fitzpatrick, TJ Watt, Terrell Edmonds, Cam Hayward, they all stepped up and played today. You think about the big play that Joe Hayden made to seal this game today, and honestly, I really thought that the Titans got a favorable spot on that. It was one of those. If you looked at it clearly on TV, he was probably the receiver was probably a half yard short or so, maybe 3/4 of a yard short, and it wasn't even that close. And then, of course, they brought in the chains, and of course, the rest is history. Now, it was important that Pittsburgh's defense was as good as they were today. I know that they gave up 200 yards on the ground, but nonetheless, they had that bend but don't break mentality, and that was important because the Steelers' offense struggled. They only had 168 total yards of offense, and that has to change going forward. And they really have to run the football more effectively with rookie Najee Harris if they're going to go out there and get a playoff spot. On the flip side for the Titans, this was the third time this year that they had a big rushing day and they didn't get a win on the road. We go back to earlier this season against the Jets. It also happened a few weeks ago on the road against the New England Patriots. And then, of course, today against the Steelers, as Tennessee did have more than 200 yards on the ground. But getting back to Pittsburgh, they are hanging around in the playoff picture in the AFC, and they want to find a way to get it going. And I mean, these last 3 games are not going to be easy. They're at Kansas City, they're home for Cleveland, and then they're at Baltimore. So if you are Pittsburgh, your playoffs have already started now because you really don't have a lot of wiggle room if you're the Steelers. You want to go out there and you have to keep putting your best foot forward. The defense has to keep playing like they did today. They got to find a way to go out there and get after Patrick Mahomes next week and Kansas City's offense, but also they got to score some points. You think about that rematch with Cleveland is coming up. The Steelers lost a heartbreaker earlier this season, and then finishing the season on the road at Baltimore. I mean, when you think about the Steelers and Ravens, it's always a physical game, always low scoring, always a close affair. We saw that a couple of weeks ago when Pittsburgh got the 20-19 win at home over the Ravens. And if you're the Steelers, you wouldn't like it any other way. So Mike Tomlin, he had his team ready to play today. Defensively, they carried them. They got to make the necessary adjustments going forward. But the big time playmakers, especially on the defensive side of the ball, stepped up today for the black and gold when they needed it, as they got a huge win to hang around in the playoff picture in the AFC. So, folks, that is going to wrap it up. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast here on YouTube. I want to take the time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you are on Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 Pounds of Sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it'll be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. You can check it out, drop a line, and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, signing off, saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.